Hey, hello, bonjour. My name is Cherise and welcome to my channel. And on my channel, I focus mainly on mental health. And in today's video, I talk to you about why gardening is so important to me. But first, we got to go shopping and buy my little plants. So let's spend the day together.
Look at all that garbage. That wasn't mine. It's Tim Horton. Oh.
Can I get a tray, actually? See?
And a Boston cream. Okay, good. It's not upside down. Okay. I love you, Tim Hortons.
Mom. Mom.
Check out these really beautiful townhouses. Now, a quick question for anybody who has lived in a townhouse before. What was your experience like? Because personally, I think that I would never be able to live in a townhouse because I think my family is way too loud. We would be either evicted or just be very unpleasant neighbors, you know? So this wouldn't work for us, but
I like my country life.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I like our space.
Yep.
My mom loves gelatos. It's like ice cream. They have a cannabis store.
Real buds.
We don't know, it's just pop. That's amazing corn right there. Go zip lining. We're here. We're here. Can't see it. It's focusing a lot on the dirtiness. Let's go.
All right.
I'm going for that guy right there.
I'll take it. I'll take the picture.
there's my old man just crossing the screen there, just taking a long ass time there.
You want to get rid of this? We'll go first.
Should I just go pay for them, then you can go walk around, or do you want to pay for it?
Well, we can pay for it first. My cart of flowers.
I got lots of pictures.
Great. Me and video?
Nice. So you want to go to the city?
Yeah. My phone's just these stupid.
You should get a new one.
I should, but I still have like $600 to pay on this one.
We did stop at St. Vital Mall really quick, and then we stopped at my favorite place, Costco's. And I told my kid I was going to only be bringing back a few things, and, you know, she called us out and was like, yeah, right.
Oh my god, it's open! It's open! Ah!
Okay, so when we got back, we went ahead and did the hanging baskets and as well as the planter beds. And my daughter did help me throughout the process, so I did not do a lot of filming. And that is because I want to maintain privacy between my kids and the internet. And that is a rule that I've had ever since my daughter was first born. So these planter beds here are new, and we've had the other ones since last year. If you go back on my videos, you'll see. But my husband was doing the third one there still, and this was after everything was done. We had all the plants set, and then the next day. Warning, the voiceover you are about to hear includes topics of addictions, depression, PTSD, sexual assault, and suicide. Okay, so here is the story about why I started gardening. So I was addicted to opiates for approximately 3 or 4 years, and I got clean from opiates in 2017. And then I also got pregnant in 2017. And then after I had my son, I went through, again, postpartum depression, which is what I went through with all my other pregnancies as well. So with my first pregnancy, 10 weeks after my daughter was born, I was put on antidepressants and I had to stop breastfeeding because of that. And then with my second born, I was put on antidepressants at 12 weeks, but I did not want to stop breastfeeding. So they gave me an antidepressant that was safe for breastfeeding. So I continued to breastfeed for about a year. And then after a while, I became really dependent on that medication, and that was where my addictions to opiates started. I just have to water it. I just have to pee really badly. But anyway, I came back outside and finished watering the plants, and then it rained for the full day. But here's the next day, and I thought it looked really beautiful. As you can see, the deck is still wet, and Spot the cat. Okay, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my rose bush. So I planted this rose bush in 2019, and look how far it's come. So in 2022, we had 3 blooms of roses from these bushes. This year, in 2023, we only had 1, but we also got some offshoots this year. So free rose bushes. So now fast forward to having my youngest son. I did not want to be on any kind of medication after my son was born because I realized that the pills really masked a lot of my childhood trauma. And I didn't want to continue a battle with PTSD. I was tired of it. I was tired of battling with depression. I was tired of, battling with my anxiety. And I knew that the only way I could move past this is if I reached out. And so I did. I mean, it did take some effort, but I reached out. I made my appointment. I drove myself to my appointment. I sat in the waiting room and I cried the entire first session. But before I get into the heavy details about that, I want to share a funny moment that we had with our son.
That bird right there, that's the bird that my son got beef with. There he is. Yeah. It's a bird. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
What?
You got beef, I guess.
So when you start counseling, one of the questions that they will ask you on the first session is, what brings you to counseling? So that's when you basically put everything out on the table. And sometimes that can take 1 session or 2 sessions, maybe even 4 sessions. For me, it took 4 sessions because I had a lot of years of repression. And with other people, it could take longer because some people have years, many, many years of repression. So the only visual I can give you from my perception is picture a large table. And on that large table, there is a huge mess. And you aren't exactly sure where to start because there is knots and tangles everywhere. And little by little, your counselor will help guide you untangle and clean up your mess. Now, your counselor isn't going to be really touching your mess. You're going to be doing all of the work. While in school, I heard this motto. And I heard this motto used more than once, and it's really stuck with me. It goes like this. Counselors should not do for their clients what clients can and should do for themselves. So basically, your counselor is not a fairy who has a magic wand is the cure-all for you. No, the cure-all is you. You are the cure-all. So you decide on what you want to work on, what you want to deal with. And your counselor isn't going to be pushy or, isn't going to force you to do things or isn't and shouldn't force you to confront. So confrontation comes with yourself and if you are okay with it. My counselor didn't tell me to go confront the bullies, didn't go tell me to confront all the people that hurt me, or go tell your family about what happened to you. Absolutely not. We worked slow, steady, and the mess took quite a few months to clean up, but we got there. And, she understood me as a person and understood my behaviors, and that was important.
I have a lot of editing to do, and I only have, oh my God, I only have 4 minutes left. Shit. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and water all of these. Look at how the black is doing. The black ones are doing incredible. These are called Black Magic. Yeah, yeah, I put this one in there with them, but it's not doing very well. But I'm gonna go ahead and water the rest of my hanging baskets. All right, and I'm also gonna put this one find a bucket to put it into, and then this one too. This is my peace lily, kind of died, and these ones I gotta find a home for them before they die. But that's all I'm gonna do. I'll catch you guys in a bit. We'll just stand here. We'll just stand here.
Go ahead, Luca. Go ahead. He's all lit.
Go see them. Go see them, Luca.
I think he wants to be a good boy right now.
So I have been through a few counselors, and one of the mistakes that I have seen counselors make was they give advice too quickly and try to problem solve too soon. And that can ruin client counselor relationships. And I believe what makes a good counselor is active listening and empathetic and genuineness. So slow and steady wins the race.
So flooded here. It's so flooded. I'm sorry. He must have been like trying to sleep and shit.
And if we really think about it, all it took was one person. One person to hear me, one person to see me, one person to really listen to me, and one person to give me advice. Cherise, get a plant and see where that plant takes you in a year. And it took me a place where I found peace, love, and healing. And it brought me to my own personal paradise. And I almost fell like right here. I hit the chair. Forgot the chair was there somehow. That's typical of me though, so.
Look at that.
If you are ever curious about how counseling works with time, I'm going to explain this to you. So basically, you make your appointment at the office of your choosing, and the receptionist will, it takes a couple of days for the receptionist to get back to you, and maybe a couple of days to a week, really depending on how busy the office is. And I also want to bring up something here. If you are an organization that hires counselors or therapists or social service workers or culture workers, right? I think that you should have a website with everybody's bio, like your counselors, your therapists, your culture workers, a bio or about just explaining who you are, where you come from, your educational background, and what you specialize in. So like when I was younger, I used to get referred out by my doctors, and the office would just call and tell me, you have an appointment with so-and-so on this day. And that shit threw my anxiety through the roof, to the point where I wouldn't even show up to the appointment. And that was because when I was younger, I did not feel comfortable with males, and I preferred females. And at the time, you were basically just given what you get, and that was it. Like no choice in your counselors. So as a client, I really do appreciate it when they have a bio of all the counselors or therapists, because it took away all of the anticipation. So I was more likely to attend my appointment as opposed to ditching it.
A little bit left.
On the first session, your counselor will decide if you need to be seen more frequently or if it can be spaced out. Now for me, I had to be seen more frequently. So I seen my counselor twice a month at the very beginning for 3 months. And then after that, it was once a month for 3 months. And then after that, it was spaced out to 6 to 8 weeks. And then that following year, I only saw my counselor 3 times. So that's when we decided it was time to move into the termination stage. And this doesn't mean it's a bad thing. So basically, I was told on the second last session that we were moving into the termination stage. And on the last session, we just went through everything, and I felt confident enough to move forward on my own. And I also felt that counseling has done all that it could do for me, and the rest was up to me. But I'm also aware that I am not immune to problems. I know that problems are going to show up every so often, but I also know that I'm going to be dealing with those problems in a healthy way, and I'm going to be coping with these problems in a healthy way. And I also know that if these problems get too much for me, it's okay to reach out for that help if I needed it again.
I'm getting so much sweat in my eyes, and I can't rub my eyes because there's gardening stuff all over it. I'm also really snotty. Many people go into counseling for many different reasons. And my reason was because I was really struggling with PTSD. And a lot of my trauma came from my upbringing, you know, my childhood and my teenhood. So from the time that I was 17 to the time that I was 19, until I met my husband, I was suicidal. And I actually tried to commit about 3 times and I almost succeeded. And the big reason behind a lot of that was because of sexual assault. That led me to drugs and alcohol and an unhealthy coping method. And when I started to be more open about the S.A., I found the story to be a lot more common. And as messed up as this sounds, I found it to be a lot more comforting to know that it was a common story. Because when you go through something as traumatizing as S.A., you feel really alone. Like I remember looking around my classroom thinking, to my knowledge, that nobody was going through what I was going through. And at the time, I didn't necessarily understand it, but I was having major trust issues because of the extreme amounts of bullying that I was enduring during my grade 1 years to my grade 5 years. And bullying, no matter what form it takes, it's horrible. And when I think about how much power that trauma had over me for so many years, all I can think about is why. And where would I be if it hadn't? I can honestly say that I am proud of where I came from. I am very proud of how far I've come and what I've overcome. As harsh as it sounds and as hard as it was, I am very proud and grateful for everything that I went through. Not only because it's made me very strong and resilient, but it also made me very compassionate and also very aware of my surroundings. So, me becoming me, I obviously chose a career in the helping field. So, I became an addictions counselor, and that's where I am today. So, now you have a little bit of an understanding about why gardening is a big part of my life and why I encourage gardening. It literally took one person's advice, and I will repeat that over and over. One person's advice led me to this. And what gardening did for me was it gave me back my self-esteem. It gave me back my sense of purpose, and it gave me something to look forward to. And it's also something that isn't super high maintenance, and it's something that's very soothing to me. So when I wake up in the morning, I go out and see how my plants are doing, and I'll have a little chit chat with them. And during this time, I will also say prayers and just think about myself and pray for myself, because that's also important, is praying for yourself no matter what. That's it. Luca, go run around. Go run around. Go on. And then he's done exercising now. I am going to try and post long form videos every 2 weeks and then shorts at least 4 times a week. But I just don't want you guys to get bored of seeing my kitchen every single day, because that's pretty much all I do, other than sit in my kitchen or play video games or go to work or, and I would definitely take you guys with me, but I'm a cheap person and I don't have a lot of space on my phone, so I can't really record a lot, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if there's anybody out there that's like that, but I'm like that, where I'll get the cheapest phone with the cheapest gigabytes where you can hardly ever record anything or even take any pictures because it's cheap. But anyway, I'm going to leave some links and phone numbers at the end of this video for people around rural Manitoba, Canada, who need somebody to talk to. And I'm also going to leave my email. So it's sherisseismoody@hotmail.com. So email me if you have any questions, concerns, or if you just need somebody to talk to. I'll be available. Whoa. Okay, so we are getting to the end of the video. As you can see, my deck isn't as golden brown and my flowers aren't as bright. Now this is season end in October, so I will be seeing these guys in April or May. But thank you guys for watching, and like I said, if you need anybody to talk to, please reach out. I hope you guys have
a wonderful morning, afternoon, and evening. Whatever. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh my God, it's so dumb. Like I had mentioned earlier, these are all the numbers, emergency contact numbers and crisis lines, as well as some online chats if you feel more comfortable talking online as opposed to in person or on the phone.